911, what's your emergency?
Let's introduce the crime. Around 10:15 p.m., the barks of a dog were heard by neighbors. At midnight, the police found the bodies of Ronald Goldman and Nicole Brown outside Nicole's Brentwood home, the ex-wife of O.J. Simpson and mother of their 2 children. The police went to O.J.'s house to inform him of the murders, where they found blood evidence linking him to the crime scene and his sudden disappearance, making him the main suspect. Here's something you should know about O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was an ex-NFL superstar and a charismatic actor, but he was also known to abuse Nicole Brown during their marriage. Due to the abundance of evidence and the history of domestic violence, he was asked to turn himself in. O.J. notoriously went on the run, leading to the infamous Bronco chase, but he was inevitably arrested at his house in Brentwood, California. Now let's meet the key players of the trial. Our main suspect and defendant, O.J. Simpson. From the prosecution side, Deputy District Attorney Marsha Clark, alongside her co-prosecutor Chris Darden. Their crucial witness was Detective Mark Furman, the LAPD officer who discovered the second bloody gloves at Simpson Estate. On the defense side, Simpson's wealth allowed him to assemble what would famously be called the Dream Team, including Johnny Cochran and Robert Shapiro. Presiding over it all was Judge Lance Ito and the jury. With this, let's find out if Simpson is guilty or not.
Let's talk about the prosecution strategy. We know that Simpson had the means, motive, and opportunity to commit those murders. Firstly, he had motive because there's documented evidence of him abusing Nicole, and this is also shown in Nicole's diary excerpt. To further prove this, let's watch Nicole's sister's testimony in court.
And then at one point, OJ grabbed Nicole's crotch and said, "This is where babies come from, and that this belongs to me."
Did you say something to the defendant?
Yes, I did.
What did you say then?
I told him he took Nicole for granted, and he blew up, grabbed Nicole and threw her against the wall.
What did the defendant say to your sister while she was pregnant?
He used to call her a fat pig.
Next, we know that Simpson had the opportunity to commit those murders as he had no alibi during that time and he had more than enough time to go to Nicole's house and get back in time to catch his flight. Lastly, means-wise, we know he can be capable for murder because he is a strong and athletic man. The murder weapon is missing, but we have evidence that he recently purchased a similar knife used in the murders. To reinforce these allegations, let's take a closer look at some of the key evidence that all point to Simpson's guilt. Our case was built on the evidence found at the crime scenes. Firstly, we have the blood recovered from OJ's car, the gloves found at the crime scene and at OJ's house, the bloody socks, which all match the DNA of the victims and the suspect at a 1 in a billion match, making it 99% accurate. There were also bloody shoe print traces found at the crime scene, which matched the size and the brand of the shoes purchased by Simpson.
The defense is completely false. If you ask me, Johnny Cochran, defense lead attorney. If you want to hear the truth, come with me on the defense, because if you ask me, listening to the prosecution is just a bunch of baloney. The amount of evidence against us was staggering. We faced him. But if we wanted to prove that O.J. Simpson didn't do it, we had to create reasonable doubt. So here's how we did it. Looking at the crime board, firstly, we have the cross-contamination of O.J. Simpson's bloody socks found at the crime scene. It was mispackaged with the sunglasses found at the scene as well, which may have contaminated and affected the results of both evidence found at the scene. Besides that, we also have the mishandling of evidence by the prosecution. We have exactly 30 drops of blood of O.J. Simpson missing, which is an utter travesty on its own. We also have the smoking gun in their case, O.J. Simpson's bloody gloves presented by the prosecution. However, we have found that it is not as clear-cut as it seems when presented to the jury.
Show the jury your hands.
It's too small. As you see, the gloves did not fit. And this is due to the mishandling by the prosecution with the gloves as they left it in a hot vehicle exposed to hot weather affecting and tainting the results, mishandling. Beyond that, we also wanted to see how we could challenge the reputability of the LAPD. We painted the department as corrupt and racist like Mark Furman, who discovered the key evidence of the case, including the gloves. Tapes emerged of Furman using the N-word repeatedly and boasting about police brutality towards the black community. When asked about racial slurs, he committed perjury when denying it.
And you say on your oath that you have not addressed any black person as a nigger or spoken about black people as niggers in the past 10 years, Detective Furman.
That's what I'm saying, sir.
So that anyone who comes to this court and quotes you as using that word in dealing with African Americans would be a liar, would they not, Detective Furman?
Yes, they would.
All of them, correct?
All of them.
Detective Furman, did you plant or manufacture any evidence in this case?
I assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
Then it was plausible the evidence was planted and that anyone in the LGBT could have committed these murders and framed O.J. Simpson. We made it clear as day the gloves could have been planted, the bloody socks could have been tainted, and that our man O.J. Simpson was innocent.
Guys, it makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
The jury had to weigh more than just evidence. Their decision came down to a mix of powerful moments and deeper issues. Firstly, Rodney King's beating and the riots after the officers were acquitted left the black community with deep distrust in the LAPD. Secondly, the prosecution presented strong evidence, but the case was far from perfect. The glove didn't fit, a dramatic moment that cast doubt on the prosecution's narrative. Then, Detective Mark Furman, who found the glove, was exposed as a racist and liar, undermining the integrity of the investigation. Finally, most of the jury was black, and in a city still reeling from racial injustice, many may have questioned whether O.J. was on trial for murder or something bigger. In the end, this wasn't just about guilt or innocence. It became a test of race, justice, and the American legal system itself. As such, the entire country held its breath, united by a single question. Was O.J. Simpson guilty of murdering Nicole and Ron, or would he walk away free?
We, the jury, found O.J. Simpson not guilty of the murders of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman.